HarperCollins presents Evenings and Weekends by Oisín Mckenna, read by Isabel Adomakoh-Young. For my mum, Fiona, and dad, Ricky. Summer as a time to do nothing and make no money. Peanut Butter, Eileen Myles, 1991. 2019. 1. A whale gets stuck in the Thames. It's a rare whale, a big whale, a northern bottlenose whale, to be precise. 5 meters in length, 12 tons of shuddering blubber and bone, thrashing, frantic, wildly distressed, its body half-beached next to shopping trolleys and syringes on Bermondsey Beach. By Friday, it becomes a sensation. People on Twitter give it a name. They Photoshop its image over screenshots from The Simpsons, The Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter. At first, a hilarious meme, then an annoying fad once brands begin using it to sell their products on Instagram. It's suddenly important to have an opinion. Callers to daytime talk shows wish the whale well and suggest schemes for rescuing it. Crowd funds are set up, bake sales planned, and thousands of pounds are raised within hours, though some argue that certain causes, food banks, police bail funds, refugees crossing the Mediterranean, injured British Army veterans, people in need of gender-affirming care, and, generally, Syria, are more deserving of your money. Battle lines are drawn, arguments lost and won. Blame is attributed to some combination of carbon emissions, single-use plastics, the European Union, English nationalism, eco-fascism, the volume of fossil fuel required to keep the internet turned on, and anyone who still buys cheap clothes from high street shops. The exact ratio of factors is yet to be agreed, but one thing is certain: the whale is bad news. It points its finger in accusation. No one is innocent in the whale's unblinking eyes. You, declares the whale, are morally, spiritually, and ecologically bankrupt. The whale is alive, but only just about. It's a tense summer. It's June. Dehydrated office workers spew from tube stations with frayed nerves and anxiety. On every beautiful day, people feel compelled to look out their window and say, "It's very worrying, isn't it?" As if it were tasteless to comment on the warm sun and blue sky without remarking on the mass extinction of humans and whales within the same breath. The air is warm and damp. No bedsheet is undrenched, and everything, everywhere, is sticky with sweat. The hours of each day are rationed between unbearable heat and biblical rain, and even though it has only been this way for 3 weeks, it is impossible to imagine that things have ever been any other way. People move slowly, if they move at all, and no one has thought a coherent thought all month. Ed Seymour, a courier, is delivering a box of pastries to an office in Canary Wharf, dripping with sweat and chirpier than he's been in weeks. He's cycling along the riverbank, not the fastest route, but so calming to watch the river glisten, when he spots the whale on the opposite bank. He steadies himself and rubs his eyes like a crazed cartoon character. Ed Seymour, a good man, a normal man, a man with a pregnant girlfriend, is certain that he's hallucinating. He thinks the whale is the latest in a long line of imaginary creatures he's encountered recently, sometimes friendly, sometimes threatening, but, crucially, never real. It is not the first time that Ed has hallucinated this year. It is not the second, third, or fourth time either. 9 weeks ago, Ed learned that his girlfriend, Maggie, was pregnant, and his life would change forever. While this change was not necessarily unwelcome, it was certainly unplanned, and shocking enough for Ed to call his friend Callum, a small-time drug dealer, and ask if they could meet at the pub. Callum, on learning the news, consoled Ed in the only way he knew how. He passed a tab of acid under the table. Ed didn't want to get high, exhausted by the news of the pregnancy and the fact that his friend only knew how to express love through the sharing of drugs. But seeing that Callum was trying to express love all the same, and at 30 years old still keen to be seen as one of the boys, he wearily complied.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?